Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. And today's guest is going to be Heidi Parvianen, the front woman of Finnish cinematic metal band Dark Sara, who is going to talk about the band's upcoming album Grim and the new protagonist Luna. So make sure you subscribe to both here and on Instagram to stay tuned with the updates. Here you go. Well, thanks a lot for finding time to speak to me. I appreciated this. I think you're pretty busy now with a new album coming out and everything. So congrats on this one and finishing up. By the way, are you in Finland actually?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. How is the situation there with the lockdown and everything?
It's really good actually. Everything has been opened up again, and in August I think that all the venues are opening up too, and it should be possible to go to live shows again.
Fingers crossed.
Let's do this because it can really change. No one knows. Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's crazy all over the world. I mean, they just opened up a couple of things over here, restaurants and everything like that, and then unfortunately the rates jumped up again, so they're thinking about closing it down again.
Yeah, that's the risk, I think, and they are talking about the second wave here in Finland too. So, but Finland has been working really fast when the numbers started rising, and that's we went to complete lockdown of the southern Finland, and that was also something that was affecting to our music video shoots because it was like 1 week a window that we couldn't have moved anywhere from Helsinki area. So it was a bit risky, but we managed to find another partner here in Finland, and we managed to do both of the music videos anyway.
Good. You actually released one today, the latest one. Yeah, congrats. It's a great one. Enjoyed
Thank
it.
you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the response so far has been great, right? From the fans and the community.
Yeah, the response mostly is really good, but I'm also really surprised by all the trolls. I haven't been used to that because we have had our own YouTube channel for the whole time, and now that we are under Napalm Records YouTube channel, they have really different followers there.
I think that's a trade-off. On one hand, your music is being introduced to the fans, the metal fans especially, that never would have discovered Dark Sara otherwise. But you would get some who are not fond of the style, and I guess this is okay.
Yeah, I think so too. It's always like you get the both sides of the sword, of the knife. So it's always like that. But of course it's okay. But I was still a bit overwhelmed by the hatred at some point. But that's something that you have to kind of start living with.
Absolutely. The moment you step out to the new level, I mean, that's kind of the trade-off and the deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's a good thing. Anyway, yeah, to get people bothered or they are not liking it and they need to say it, or they're loving it and they need to say it. So it means like they need to say something.
I guess people like talking. But yeah, obviously for those who don't know, the big news about Dark Sara this month is the release of their fourth studio album called Grim on July 17th. And you are introducing a new protagonist, Luna, on this record, right? Could you tell us a bit about her and how did this idea arise?
Well, I was feeling I was feeling that when I was writing the last part of the Chronicles, I felt that the story of Dark Sara was coming to end. I just felt that it really strongly that I needed to have a new character when we were going to start a new storyline anyway. And there was many things happening there in our band and also music ways and also with a new label and everything. I thought that it's a good thing to make change at that point. And this new character, Luna, she's a moon deity. she's a little bit connected to Dark Sarah, because actually she is kind of the new how do you say, what is it in English? But anyway, she's kind of the new form of Dark Sarah, because Dark Sarah died in the end of the Chronicles and transformed into a golden moth, and she flew into space, and then Dragon tried to save her by turning the time turner, and they both ended up into this kind of a time loop, and they've ended to a new time and new city called Grimm. And there, Dark Sarah, because she was still in the moth form, she was transformed by a witch back to human form. And because she was still like an empty vessel without a soul, she was placed into a tomb to wait for the right moment when the moons are in the right position, so that she could rise again and be reborn as Luna. And here she is coming back without knowing at this point that she has this kind of past. But there in the Grimm, she will find out what has happened to her in the past, and also meet the dragon, who now as the wolf in this story.
That's interesting. I feel like I'm reading a book at this point.
Because that has been my idea, that people start reading the storybooks and also listening to the music and reading the lyrics, because they are kind of together. They make like something compared to a book or a short movie or something like that.
Yeah, that's cool. What was the creative process like behind, writing the album and the production itself? Working with a new label, with Napalm, I mean, obviously it's a huge step, right? I mean, it's, and I guess it's very different from what you've used to before. But can you just open up about some of the differences maybe, and some of the processes behind it?
Well, we had already recorded our album before we signed with Napalm, so I don't know about what could be different.
Okay.
Yes. I know. At one
you can
point.
Make it up.
Yes, but anyway, they have been working really a lot for us and arranging these interviews and everything. And I'm really busy, and it's a good thing, because I feel that we are getting the word out much better than before. But for as when it comes to the album making, I started writing the songs, the demos for this album 2 years ago already. Quite straight after the Golden Moth was released. I always need to kind of have the old album away from my system before I can start writing new stuff, even though I always have an idea, of course, and an idea of where the story is going in the end of the old album. But I started writing them already 2 years ago, and it was a quite big journey musically for me, because I learned a lot during the 2 years, and I think that the first demos I wrote were in the mood of the Chronicles, but in the end they started changing and evolving to something new, and I think that this album is kind of a transition album to some sort of a new era, a new phase musically too for us. Yeah.
This is great to hear. I was able to listen to the album a couple of times now, and in the last couple of days, and I've got to say it is very coherent, yet at the same time it is, it's different. Every song is different. I cannot just say, hey, this song particularly characterizes the album. I mean, they all do in a very different way, but work kind of in a synergy, I guess. Was that done on purpose? Did you try to include different musical styles over there?
Yes, definitely. We, as always, we have had we want to have a really different songs for different acts of from the storyline. And they sound like Dark Sarah through Who. So it's like so there's something that you can play with. There's lots of this kind of musical style, like music theater style.
Yes.
But still like differently showcased compared to the Golden Moth album, where there was these kind of speaking parts and so on. So I think that this is more like a music album than the Golden Moth album was. And that was also made on purpose to be like this time anyway. Yeah.
This is cool. At some point when I was listening to the album, I think I could have closed my eyes and thought of, I'm in a modern time Phantom of the Opera kind of environment. It somehow resonated with me. I don't know why. But yeah, releasing an album during this, difficult times in the world is kind of a bold idea, right? I mean, let's just be honest. Why didn't you postpone it, and why did you decide to go through that?
Well, I nobody asked if we want to postpone.
Would you?
To be honest, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have wanted to do that because we already have been waiting 7 months for it to be released, and every time an album is kind of a picture of its time. I think that for me as a writer, and I want to evolve and go forward, I think that it's really hard to stay put with one album, and you can't kind of get it out to start something new. And that's why I always want to release it really quickly so that I can concentrate on something else. But this time we needed to wait for 7 months, and I wasn't really happy about the idea of releasing it later this year. But of course, when we decided this release date, there wasn't this kind of situation. So it just came from nowhere. And of course, it was devastating for many bands and many musicians and artists and everything, and everyone working, and everyone actually. But in our case, I think that it wasn't that devastating because we have never been a touring band in that way that would be our income. And I think that for bands who are mostly touring and making less albums, I think it's really devastating, so that they don't get any income from the shows. But in our case, we have been mostly making music and releasing albums quite
often.
Close together. Yes, and that's what we have been wanting to do, because we haven't had so many shows. It's a good thing to kind of be to look active, and that we want to go forward and develop ourselves as musicians, and also as music writers too.
That's cool. But actually, one of the questions, since we are talking about touring nowadays and everything, one of the questions that your fans asked when I did a shout out about the interview, and they asked a lot about it, whether there will be new touring dates announcements, maybe closer to the end of the year, or are you planning on going on tour in Europe by the end of this year or beginning of the next one? Any confirmed dates yet?
No, I can't say that there are, because in our case it happened that everybody was canceling their shows in the spring, and we would have needed to start booking. So no one was booking, but they were all canceling. So that's the situation now. I think that most of the bands who should have been touring this spring, they are postponing their tours this winter or fall. or maybe early next year. So I'm really hopeful that there will be some slot for us too.
Yeah.
And when it comes safe to travel again, of course.
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. Because there are already a lot of overlaps for the next year. Because everyone who hasn't been able to go on tour is kind of trying right now. The whole Gravedigger Rage collaboration just fell through, and it's gonna be substituted by Brothers of Metal and Windrose, I think. But yes. So I assume it's very hard to book a date. And especially a bunch of them if you want to do a tour at this point. But again, hopefully it will come back to normal at some point.
Yeah, I truly hope so. And also, but we have one show booked.
Okay, nice.
Yes, and that's great thing, because I was expecting that it wouldn't happen, but now since in Helsinki or in Finland anywhere, the thing is going to be open, all the venues in August, at least this time, for shows. So we're going to have our album release show on the August 7th in Helsinki at On the Rocks, and it's going to be a live stream worldwide.
Perfect.
So yeah, I think that this is really good news for our fans abroad, because we have never been able to tour yet. So this is one chance to meet us there.
Nice, that's cool. Talking about coming back to the album, do you got personally a favorite song?
Yeah, I think that I do. Although I love them all because they are kind of different acts. Yeah, yes. Different, and they are really picked with love, because there was 20 of them, the demos, and we picked everyone for this album. So that in that way I can really sign every choice that we made, but my special favorite is The Chosen One.
Interesting. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
No one else heard it yet, so
yours.
Cool. Talking about collaborations, right? This album features a couple of those. Obviously, there'll be one with well-known for every Dark Sara fan with JP, reenacted as a wolf, this time instead of a dragon, in one of the songs. And the other one is going to be with Jasse Jatala. Am I pronouncing it right? Yeah. As Mörk, right? How was it? He's going to be the antagonist on the album, pretty much. And as far as I know, he's been on The Voice of Finland, right? The guys, how was it working with him? And how did you decide to invite him to participate on the record?
Well, when I was writing these songs and all those, also already the kind of the synopsis of the story, and I knew that I would need to have this kind of male voice for this role of Mörk, and I was kind of like going through some musicians that I know, and it was really hard to find anyone suitable who could also sing really well, like clean vocals, and also growl really nicely. And by a sudden, I was watching TV last year, and I was watching this Voice of Finland, and I saw him singing metal music there, and I was like, oh, okay, this could be the one that I've been looking for, even though he's not a well-known musician or anything, but I've always kind of been headhunting good voices more than celebrities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's why I thought to ask if he would be interested in joining. And also one good thing was that he was Finnish, because it's always really much easier to get the musician to the same studio that you're working in, and work with the producer too. So this time it was a really nice thing that he was from Finland too. So, but he was really into it, and it was really nice working with him, and he's a really nice guy too. So yeah, and he's starting his own career, metal career here in Finland.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Another voice alumni in the metal industry. That's interesting. That's very cool.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to bring out some fresh new voices to it.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely. Cool. I'm conscious of your time, so just a couple of more questions, and that's it. Usually, what I do is ask for one crazy story, touring story, from any band. With you, we can either talk about writing experience or any story about the band that maybe you haven't told that much yet, but you really cherish and you want to share with the fans, maybe about the writing process or about the collaboration with either one of the musicians you did lately.
Yeah, that's a big question.
It is.
No, brain cells are going like woo. Yeah. Well, there has been not so many shows for us for everything to go really wrong, which are when afterwards they are really funny moments. But of course I remember those. I had really fun with JP when we were shooting the video for Trespasser in the desert. It was like the whole week was like we shot the music video for the whole week from morning to evening when the sun went down, and we were at the desert, and it was steaming hot and windy, and we had sand everywhere, and my feet were swollen like this, and it was. And we needed to do the choreographies there quite many times through the whole day. And physically, it was the most challenging one.
Wow.
It was the most challenging one for me. Also mentally, because it was like we needed to wake up really early to do the makeup every day, the same makeup. You didn't want to change much.
Yeah.
And then it was we came to the hotel, and we were really tired and didn't have time to go to restaurant even. And next morning we knew that it was going to be a early wake up again. So it was really, really exhausting. But also I think that it became my favorite videos visually, because it's really, really lovely. And it's and Markus, who has been making and directing all our music videos. All of them, and he kind of took the picture for the scene just like in my imagination. So it was when I went there and I saw JP walking down to the sand hill. What is it called? Dine.
The Dine.
Yeah. So he was walking there, and I was like, this is straight from my imagination. It was like I felt shivers because it was like from my.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's really wonderful when you get these moments that you have kind of been able to transport your image, mental image to someone so well. Great. So it was magical.
Absolutely, that connection is very important, I guess. Yeah, perfect. Thanks a lot. Any last message for the fans? Anything you want to share with them? Or anything you want to tell them?
Yes, thank you for listening to Dark Sarah. And we love our fans. They are the golden thing for us, especially for us because of the crowdfunding and everything that many of our fans have been supporting us from the start and still are. And it warms our heart. And we would love to come to see you. We don't mind how big is the venue, or if we don't need any, red carpets. We just want to meet our fans, and that's the most important thing. And we are really trying to come to your town when this crazy situation is over. And I can't wait for you to hear and read and everything what we have been doing for so long time, and I hope that you love Grim as much as I do.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. For those, don't forget, Grim out July 17th. Make sure you check it out. Thanks a lot, Heidi, and have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
See ya.